Right, hello Year 12. I thought this would be the best way of doing it. Posting up a short little video because I just want to talk to you about something. So let's just a quick little recap. We have really, whenever you've been doing your assessments, you've been doing this one, task 1 of the Gothic component. You've been doing task 1, unseen prose. Because obviously in task 2 you need to have read Dracula and the Picture of Dorian Gray. Next year you're going to be doing the Bloody Chamber as well. So we would have, over the last few weeks, we would have been looking a bit more at this one because we were studying Dracula. We'd already read Picture of Dorian Gray, so we would have started to compare a little bit between Dracula and the Picture of Dorian Gray, but obviously due to lockdown, we haven't really been able to do so. So hopefully you are close to finishing Dracula. Hopefully a lot of you have finished reading Dracula. So I thought this would be the best thing to start doing then. Start comparing these two texts. So I want to help you out a little bit with this. So I'm going to talk you through first and foremost the requirements of that part of the paper. I think before you attempt questions, etc., before you know why you're comparing Dorian Gray and Dracula, you sort of need to know the purpose of it in the exam. So, massive recap. Your Gothic paper is 2 hours 30 minutes. It's worth 60 marks altogether. You have 2 tasks. You do an unseen set question, which, like I say, we've been doing a lot. But then you have this question too. The AOs are slightly different, so I'm going to talk you through the AOs. Okay, so you've all got this. This is it in real basic form. The different AOs in task 1. It's AO1, AO2, AO3. In task 2, it is AO1, AO3, AO4, AO5. There's no AO2 in question 2. So, here's AO1. It's worth 12.5%. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that bit. It's worth 12.5% of the overall grade in question 1 and question 2. AO2 is just on question 1, so we're not going to look at that. AO3, it's worth 50% in question 2. When I keep saying question 2, that's where I mean the comparison between Dorian Gray and Dracula. So it's worth 50%, a lot more than it was in question 1. And then AO4 is worth 25%, and AO5 is worth 25%. Sorry, I need to change that. That's worth 12.5%. Sorry, not 25%. That's 12.5%. In fact, I'll quickly just do that now. So that is worth 12.5%. So there you go. So they're the AOs. So if we go all the way back, you'll see on this screen AO1 12.5%, AO3 50%, AO4 25%, AO5 12.5%. So AO1, let's have a recap. Articulate informed, personal and creative responses to literary text using associated concepts and terminology and coherent, accurate written expression. But feel free to obviously just pause YouTube if you want to have a look at this. But there are some notes there to help you. We skip AO2. AO3, so this is the big one for question 2. Demonstrate understanding of the significance and influence of the context in which literary texts are written and received. So again, I've put a few notes there that will help you understand what AO3 actually is. Okay, so again, you can just pause. AO4, worth 25%, so reasonable amount for question 2. Explore connections across literary texts. So this is obviously where you are comparing Dracula and Dorian Gray. And what are the connections? Do they connect? Do they not connect? Do they have similar meanings? Are there differences? And so again, there's some notes there to help you understand what AO4 is. And then finally, AO5, explore literary texts informed by different interpretations. So I've highlighted different interpretations. And so with that, I've said this may involve comparing how a different reader audience interpretate the text, perhaps think about a time period, different critiques. You might have a feminist critique compared to a Marxist critique, and we've looked at them briefly earlier in the year. You might have some notes on that. So obviously, feel free to pause, have a look. I know that's pretty boring, but essentially that is what you are aiming for. You need to be hitting those AOs in question 2. Obviously, if you've got any questions about this, please do not hesitate to email me, which some of you have been doing, which is really good. And just to end on, I'm going to do another separate video then on what I think you can be doing. So to break this down a little bit more now, I'm going to do a separate video on what you can be doing note-taking wise to hit these AOs. Okay, so this video is predominantly just about sort of the AOs and what's expected of question 2. The next video will be how do you actually prepare for them then? How do you actually revise these AOs? Hope this helps, and I hope you're all okay.